We are back. You're watching Lawrence's 125th birthday celebration here on Continental Cablevision, CTV3. Lawrence and Methuen. Today's activities being brought to you in part by the McCarthy Companies, by Arlington Trust Company, by McCartney's Men's Store, and by Nasser Ford. We're located at the main stage area right now where they're setting up for the Lawrence Musicians Union and the Peter Turnbull Orchestra. They're from Methuen. They're going to be entertaining for a couple of hours here on the main stage. We're going to continue our live broadcast right through until about midnight tonight to make sure that we can show you part of what's happening with, for instance, Herb Reed and the Platters. Later on with the Shaw Brothers. The Gong Show from 6 to 8 tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun with something called the Gong Show. And we have some local talent, okay? It's not, don't worry, that's okay, guys. Just, really, don't mind me. You guys just do your thing. Part of what we'd like to do, and part of the reason we went on to broadcast early today, was to show people exactly what's involved. Everybody gets to see a television show, and all they see is somebody standing in front of a camera entertaining, right? They never realize that you guys that entertain have to do all the work in setting up beforehand. And so we thought we'd go on the air a little earlier today just to show people exactly what's involved in putting together the kind of a show that you fellas are going to do for us later. So just don't let us interfere. You go right ahead. The sound people, they're working, they're setting up. The lighting people, they're up there behind our cameras, and they're doing the same. They're setting up and getting things ready. The stage is well lit. There are so many people to be congratulated. There are so many people to be thanked that to try and start mentioning names right now, I'm almost afraid that what I'll do is leave somebody out. And I don't want to do that because many, many people, and they know who they are. And I think that in itself says a lot for the people that are involved. They didn't do it because they're looking for the recognition. They did it because they believe in Lawrence. They have some pride in a city they live in. They have some pride in a city where their friends live. That's the reason a lot of people have joined together to make this 125th anniversary a success. Because they believe in the city, and they would like to see not only Laurentians, but Greater Lawrence people from all communities come down here for a weekend of celebrating fun and happiness. There's a food tent set up so that there's plenty of refreshments all day long. You'll have them available for you. I might remind you, too, I mentioned earlier the senior citizens could buy their tickets for the Bean Supper at the information desk. There has also been a separate desk set up here at the main stage area to sell those tickets only to senior citizens for the Bean Supper, which takes place at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and that'll be at the Lawrence Senior Citizens Center on Haverhill Street, okay? We, looking around, see a lot of the people that are going to be running in the marathon, and they're milling around and taking a look at things, and there's still an awful lot of setting up yet to be done. We're nowhere close to being ready to go into full swing by any means. It's still all setting up, and that's what this morning has been for. There have been crews here all night, for instance. Yesterday, when the festivities got underway at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that had already completed a 24-hour period. 24 hours before that, on Thursday, there were crews here beginning to set things up. The power company was in, the stage crew was here. This stage had to be erected from scratch, and it was started, it was built, and then it had to be painted. This was all done on Thursday and Friday morning and all day Friday, right up until about 5 o'clock when things were finally ready to begin the celebration for 125 years. And everybody pulled together because at 5 o'clock there was nothing left to do but have fun and enjoy the day. Now, I say nothing left to do. That's really not true, because the people who are coordinating, the stage managers, the producers, the lighting, the sound people, they have plenty to do. And they're working this weekend so that you can have a good time. But generally, everything was ready for you at 5 o'clock last night. And then we had full ceremonies and a night of entertainment until roughly around 11 o'clock, so that we had to have crews here all night long. The National Guard, the Army Reserve, the Navy Reserve. We've had people from all branches of the service that have helped by spending time here. One group that I don't want to forget to mention, because they were here all night long, overnight, the Radio Rescue Team and the Auxiliary Police Department. Lawrence not only has one hell of a good bunch of policemen, but they also have a fine group of auxiliary police as well. And those auxiliary police were on force last night, and they were here throughout the common area, and then of course they stayed overnight, many of them, to see to it that all of the things that had been set up, the many thousands of dollars worth of equipment, our broadcast equipment, the sound, the lighting, and so forth, all of the booths and all of the material that was here were protected so that nothing happened overnight, and it was very quiet, okay? But there were a lot of people here on the common all night long, and they were doing it only to make sure that when you came today, everything was set up for you, everything was ready to go, and there was no question that you were going to have a good day. And that's what happened. Everybody stayed overnight. And then we got here this morning about 6:30. Our broadcast crew arrived on the scene, started setting up our cameras and putting things together, the final attachments, plug in the microphones, put the cameras, make sure they're working, and get everything ready so that bright and early this morning we could go on the air with you at about 9:30 and continue broadcasting throughout the day. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I can't thank enough the people that made our broadcast possible. They are, for one, Arlington Trust Company. You know, Arlington Trust presents for you the Green Machine. It's at the Andover, the Methuen, Route 28, and the Haverhill Central Plaza branches. You can do your banking when you want to, 24 hours a day. Another one who cares about you, the Greater Lawrence community, seeing the activities here on CTV3, Arlington Trust. Nasser Ford. Coming soon, of course, the 1979 Fords at Nasser Ford. So buy low, stop now. Test drive the compact or luxury car of your choice. Fine deals on leftover 78s, and of course the 79s will be here any day now. McCartney's Men's Store. McCartney's, you know, has always had a reputation for quality men's apparel. Quality names like Hickey Freeman Clothing and Pendleton Sportswear. We thank the people at McCartney's Men's Store on Essex Street in Lawrence for making possible a portion of our events today. And of course the McCarthy Companies. The McCarthy Companies have a convenient Methuen Square location, Gail Levine Agency. That's located in Gaunt Square. George J. McCarthy Insurance Agency, one of 8 agencies that have joined together to service the Merrimack Valley. Now I believe that Bruce Arnold is over there at the mini stage and getting set to do a little bit with some people and maybe talk a bit about what's going on. No, I guess Bruce is Bruce coming over with us? All right, let's see if we can find out. All right, Bob, if you would check with me and see if Bruce has somebody over at the small stage or if he's going to come up here on stage with me. Setting up is the Peter Turnbull Orchestra, and they're going to do some concert work for a couple of hours here at the main stage area to kind of set the stage for a full day's worth of activities. We have so many people doing so many things. I want to take some time a little bit later, too, to see if we can't go over and visit with all of the city officials. We'd like to have them as part of the record, let you know what their feelings are, let you know how they feel today's activities, this weekend activities, face up and really show what Lawrence is all about. But we'll be talking to them later on. The committee, the 125th Committee, Gene O'Neill and Barbara Dooley, Veronica Dooley. We talked to them a little bit earlier with Bruce, and well, what we're going to hope is that maybe you know a little bit more about what went into this weekend. Too many people think that it's simply a matter of starting Friday at 5 and ending Sunday at 5 and doing nothing else, okay? But, well, there's an awful lot of work to it. There's something that goes into this that means a lot of dedication, a lot of time, and an awful lot of effort. And a lot of people were very tired come midnight last night. Mike Costello, the manager of Lawrence in Town. Come on over, Mike. Have a seat with me here for a couple of seconds, all right? You've been doing a lot of work, keeping busy out there. Want to see what's the money box for, Mike?
I was entrusted with it last night as the last person who closed up the ticket stand.
Oh, I thought maybe you were bringing it out to pass out throughout the day.
No, we'll have a lot of other things to pass out, but I don't think we'll be giving out money today.
Mike, we've been spending the past hour or so kind of going over things. As I told the people viewing with us, that the reason we wanted to go on early this morning before the festivities really begun was to show a little bit of what's involved and what goes together here to make the celebration that they see when the actual entertainment starts. We want to be able to show them what happened in setting up the booths and setting up the stage area and so forth. You've been involved in most of the setup. You've seen what's gone on over the past 6 months. Why don't you fill us in a little?
Well, I guess the one thing that comes immediately to mind is the tremendous amount of detail that's involved in any kind of effort like this. There's just an awful lot of legwork that goes on, and most of it was handled by Veronica Dooley and Nancy Kaler, the people who staffed the committee office. And they were just continuously in touch with clubs and organizations and taking care of the details as far as contracts and hiring people and making sure we'd have all the equipment necessary. You do that for 2 to 3 weeks, and then on the day of the event, you hope that it all comes together, and everybody who's promised to deliver some good or service will actually deliver. And I think that was the case. I don't think we had too many complications last night, and I think today is going to be a lovely day.
Well, the weatherman says he's going to cooperate anyway. That's half the battle.
If the wind would die down a little bit so that we don't lose a couple of the tents, we'll be fine. It looks like it's going to be a sunny day, and we've got tremendous entertainment coming up throughout the day, so we should have an excellent time here in the Common.
Mike, are you familiar with the particular ethnic groups and the various booths that are set up here behind the main stage area?
Well, some of them. There are a great variety of booths. There are both ethnic groups. There are also organizational groups. I know that the Epilepsy Foundation is here. I think there are some other health organizations that will be handing out literature and staffing booths. I think all told there are somewhere in the vicinity of maybe 20 to 25 different booths all told.
Now, there are pony rides going on all day for kids, right? And those are free?
Yeah, the more or less continuous activities of the day include the hay rides and pony rides. We also have a carnival that'll be in operation all day long. The arts and crafts exhibition will be available all day long. The booths will be open, I would assume, well into the evening. So there will be that kind of continuous entertainment available, and then the shows that will be going on throughout the day as well.
It continually amazes me the way the committee has been able to put together so many activities to cover so broad an area. All age groups, all tastes, anything that you are interested in, you'll find in one way or another here.
I would think so. We tried to come up with entertainment that would appeal to all ages, and I really think we've done that. And also not just to different ages, but in some of the entertaining groups that are coming in to different tastes as well. We had a little bit of dance last night. We're going back into the 50s today with the Platters, although they're still popular. So it's
please don't rub it in going back.
Going back. Oh my goodness. Well, I grew up with the Platters, so
I was saying earlier, I'm really excited about them coming. Okay, for a couple of reasons. Number one, because they are great entertainers and they do put on a fantastic show. But number two is very personal. I can remember going to dances listening to the Platters, all right? I can remember my early days of emceeing dances, of playing the Platters. And they were superstars, and there's no getting around it because they have lasted a long time. I think they can be put in that category of superstar. But to look forward to this afternoon where I'm going to be sitting on the same stage and actually have the honor of introducing them, that's a kind of a personal thing, after for so long. It's going to be fun.
My personal memories of the Platters, I guess, go in two directions. Number one, that was the period when rock and roll really was coming into its own, and I was very much caught up in that craze. And the joy of a group like the Platters was after you danced to Fats Domino or Little Richard or Elvis for a while, doing the jitterbug or whatever. Then you get the Platters coming along, you get a little chance to relax, and you also got a little chance to hold your girl tight,
I was just thinking, all right, my first serious girlfriend, okay, I think we danced to the Platters all night one night.
The more awkward guys who couldn't really rock and roll or jitterbug or whatever would stand around, and then, of course, the Platters would come on with this soft, slow music, and they'd do the rush over to the chairs where all the ladies were sitting to grab them up. So, of course, the Platters were the great favorite for that opportunity when you wanted to grab a girl and sort of hold her tight for a little while during the dance.
Well, that's coming back with disco now. I mean, they're finally getting back and deciding that it is much more fun to dance holding a partner than it is 16 feet away.
I must admit, I'm more in tune with the platters than I am with the disco craze.
And of course, later on tonight, the Shaw brothers, Rick and Ron. Shaw brothers, fantastic talents, personal friends as well, and they've traveled all over the world. They just came back not too long ago from a concert in England, and they were just flooded with people over there. Every concert they held had a minimum of like 10,000 people at the concert. They do an awful lot of entertaining just north of here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Their average crowd is 10,000 people that they draw at the Prescott Park in Portsmouth. About 10,000 people for every concert they do, and they do like 2 or 3 a year. They're just fantastic.
I hope we'll have the same number of people here. I haven't seen them in person, but I did have a chance to hear one of their records prior to today's event, and they sound like an excellent group. I hope we have 10,000 people down here on the Common tonight.
How many do you really expect? How many people do you think will go through before this weekend is out?
Well, just off the ticket sales last night on food and drink, we had a couple of thousand people through here last night, and I would assume today, if the weather holds out like it looks like it's going to, I would assume we would have anywhere from 10 to 20,000 people through here today.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, Mike, appreciate that. Are you heading back down now? Would you? Okay, would you do me a favor? Would you stop over our broadcast area and just ask Bruce Arnold if he'll either pop up here on this stage or set himself up on the small stage, and I'm going to give things to him for a little bit, okay? Like to remind you that the fine people who have cared enough to see to it that we can broadcast today's event and, in fact, keep it as part of the city archives include the McCarthy Companies. The McCarthy Companies are located in Lawrence. You'll find ample free parking and convenient hours from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. They offer all types of insurance coverage. The McCarthy Companies: personal life, automobile, homeowners, boats, personal life insurance, and others. Stop by and talk to the fine people at the McCarthy Companies. And while you're down that way, you're right around the corner from McCartney's Men's Store. Bob and Tom McCartney have seen fit to take part in today's broadcasting because they know that where they've been in the city for almost 100 years now, they are a very integral part of the city. And because of that, they wanted to be part of our broadcast today to let you know that they wish a happy birthday as well to the city of Lawrence, 125 years young. To Nasser Ford, for their involvement, we appreciate Paul Gaudet, Henry Nasser, who talked to them yesterday. They're going to drop by later on today if they have a chance. Nasser Ford, where you'll be able to see their fine line of Ford trucks, cars, and A1 used cars. So stop down Nasser Ford, South Broadway in South Lawrence. One thing I know about Nasser Ford, because I've dealt there before, is that I feel very comfortable when I'm down there. I don't feel like a number. I feel like a person buying a car. And that's very unusual in a lot of car dealerships. Also bringing you today's activity, Arlington Trust Company, the home of the Green Machine. The Arlington Trust Company in Lawrence, and they're also very, very much a part of the city of Lawrence, and they wish to pass their best to the city of Lawrence on the occasion of its 125th. Bruce, I'm going to give things to you for a little bit and run down the other side, grab myself a cup of coffee, and let you run down the events for today, and maybe even some. We haven't talked much about the things that are coming up tomorrow, so you might like to do that as well. This is a weekend, a total weekend, so tomorrow's very much a part of it.
I'm going to ask Peter if he has a trumpet or not. I used to play trumpet,
You did?
But I'm sitting down and see second saxophone.
No, I used to play
You're the fifth
trombone. I
saxophone.
played trombone.
Did you really?
I did. For about 6 weeks, I took trombone. I learned how to play the scale.
Uh-huh.
And in all honesty, I got tired of carrying this big thing around. I wanted to go to some small instrument like the flute, but they didn't have anything available. So I even kind of gave up.
Well, maybe we
trombone.
get a flute here. How about the drums? We'll play the drums here.
Sure, why not?
Hey, they're going to start in about 15 minutes, aren't they? Why don't you
yeah.
get your coffee,
Okay.
and I'll just sit here for a few minutes and tell you what's going to be happening. As Dave has told you already many times, we're looking forward to the band playing starting at about 10 o'clock this morning here. I want you to come down. The wind has died down a little bit, and we're happy to say that. And the weather, other than that, will be a very, very pleasant day, they tell us, just because it's a little windy. We had an opportunity to chat with a member of the Army Reserve a little while ago, and we're going to be talking with a lot of the people who have booths here today. the Lions Club, the Kiwanis, the Hibernians. Everyone is participating in this 125th anniversary celebration. A happy birthday to the city of Lawrence, and we're so happy to be a part of it. And for those of you who could not make it today, you still have tomorrow, Sunday. This is a 3-day affair. Some of the things that'll be happening come tomorrow. At 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, the Lions Club breakfast. The booths will open again on Sunday at 9 o'clock. And there'll be another a big band sound starting at about 10 here tomorrow on a Sunday. The Air Force Band will be visiting the city of Lawrence tomorrow at about noontime. Another display of gymnastics. That'll take place at 1 o'clock tomorrow. The new Black Eagle Jazz Band also from 2 to 4 tomorrow. And the Merrimack Valley Philharmonic will wind things up on Sunday starting at about 4:30. So you can see there's so much, and it doesn't cost you a penny. It doesn't cost you a dime. You just come in here, spend as long as you want. There's activity here on the Lawrence Common until about 11 or 12 tonight. And, of course, the big thing tonight will be the Shaw Brothers. They'll have a concert. And then we have the Platters later on today. Again, we've mentioned about the cooperation that has gone into putting this whole thing together. It's just fantastic. Everybody's just helping one another. So we're getting ready for the band here. The drummer seems to be tuning things up. We've mentioned, too, that we'd like for some of the people from the towns of Methuen, the town of Andover, North Andover, the city of Haverhill. There's a lot of relatives that they have in the city of Lawrence here, and maybe they should give them a call and tell them to come down. This has been publicized a great deal within the news media for the last 3 or 4 weeks, so we anticipate a big crowd on this particular day. The sun is out. It's a nice day. The wind has died down. And I'm sitting at the second saxophone's position. I hope he doesn't kick me out right yet, because we do have a lot of things to get to. Some of the people who have helped us put this together, of course, Dave has mentioned. Continental Cablevision, McCartney's Clothing Store in Lawrence, Arlington Trust Company, the McCarthy companies, and also NASA Ford. And without their help, of course, we wouldn't have been able to present this recording of all the activities on this September the 9th, 1978, celebrating the 125th anniversary for the city of Lawrence. Our crew, of course, has been on the job here since yesterday. They set everything up. And there's a lot that goes into putting a program like this together. You just don't plug a plug in an outlet and say that's it. There's a lot of planning that goes into it and a lot of preparation that goes into it. Bill, come on over here for a second. Bill Musgrave. I want to thank you very much. Come here, Bill. We're going to drink some coffee now, too. The coffee tastes good right about now. We have the members of the Air Force here, members of the Army. A lot of booths, a lot of interesting booths here. I'm dying to see that pie eating contest that'll be taking place. We mentioned the governor will be here a little later on. Pet show with Ted Meisner. Karate exhibition later on. A disco dance contest. And of course the big gong show, which will be taking place tonight between 6 and 8 o'clock. It's amazing how that program has become so popular in just a short time on nationwide television. The Shaw Brothers and also the Lawrence Chorale Arts Singers will be joining us this evening between 8 and 11 o'clock. Am I in the way here, fellas? No, you sure? Okay. You're going to be starting pretty soon here? Okay. And we're going to hear a good band, the Peter Turnbull Orchestra. It's a big band, too. They have many pieces. How you doing, Chief? Yeah. You play in the band, do you? Oh, you don't? You're just walking around, huh? You're a setup man. There's a lot to setting up, too, isn't there, huh? Yeah. My goodness. That's all just 3 days, huh? One of the setup people here helping the stage. It reminds me a little bit of like actually being, say, in Las Vegas because of the lighting system that they do have here, because of the stage. It's done so professionally. And as we say, takes many people to put it all together. We hope to have the mayor here very shortly, along with other members of the city council, past and present, to say a few words to the viewers of CTV3. We're going to be talking to a lot of the kids who are coming here, and a lot of the, maybe do a little historical thing with some of the people who have lived in Lawrence for a long time and how they've seen the city change. Has the city changed? And I think it has. I guess we're all set to go over to Dave, aren't we? So, if I can see here, we'll now leave the bandstand here, and guess we'll turn it over to Dave. Dave?
I understand that you guys are doing an awful lot this weekend, huh?
Yes. We have a raffle for a TV, an AM, FM digital radio, and a watch, which is going to be drawn on Sunday at 5 o'clock. We have wheelchairs for elderly people that can't walk, or anyone that needs a wheelchair to use. And
Are you supplying the person to push that too?
Yeah, we'll
You
have
are?
volunteers to do that,
Great.
to push people around all day.
All right, so you have a number of wheelchairs.
Yeah, we have about 8 wheelchairs, and we have some walkers for people who want to use walkers.
Okay, and we might say that the Epilepsy Society booth is located almost as you enter the Common from the Common Street side, right opposite City
Right
Hall.
from the City Hall.
From City Hall.
Right next to a booth that's selling fudge and coffee and stuff.
Okay. Very good. Dave, thanks for coming over with us. Appreciate it. We want to let people know that that's available, and
Yes.
and I'm sure that there are going to be some out there. They're going to
Yes.
have to visit you, all right?
Yeah.
But that's great. Just one more example of how the service organizations have all pulled together to make sure that you can visit the Common, visit the birthday celebration, and thoroughly, totally enjoy yourself, okay? Bruce Arnold, I guess Bruce has come down from the stage, so he's on his way over here. We'll get Bruce back, and we'll find out again what's going on. The Musicians Union sponsored Turnbull Band is just about ready to go. I guess they're pretty well set up, and they're in the process now of putting their men together, finding them, pulling them all from different areas. They're getting all the men together. I see. I hear the trumpet. You know, I heard reveille. I almost waited for taps there for a minute. I wasn't quite sure what was happening.
You know, you're right. It is chilly.
It is cold on that stage.
Kind of a funny feeling. You know, you're sitting up there, right, and you got 2 cameras looking at you, and people playing instruments behind you, and we rambled on and on, you know, telling people to come down here and help us celebrate and say happy birthday to the city of Lawrence.
And that's
Great.
really what it's all about. Everybody can wish the city a happy birthday, but we'd like to have you come down here and actually do it in person. Become part of our permanent video record of the day's events. Did you run over Sunday's events?
I sure did.
Okay, and
We ran them down.
I noticed the Musicians Union is getting set. I think what we ought to do is just take some time, all right? And we're going to, both of us, all right, we're going to be quiet for a little while, and we're just going to let you watch. And we're going to ask Bob up there in the control room, if he'll just give us a good variety of what's going on around the Lawrence Common. So for about 10 minutes time, we're going to let you just look. And keep in mind that you're watching the 125th birthday celebration here on CTV3, Lawrence and Methuen. And it's brought to you through the courtesy of the fine people at Continental Cablevision, Nasser Ford, Arlington Trust, McCartney's Men's Store, and the McCarthy Companies. So plan on joining us, would you, for our live broadcast here on the Lawrence Campagnon Memorial Common as we all celebrate together Lawrence's 125th anniversary. All right, Bob, you want to show us what's going on around the Common as everybody gets set to celebrate another day?
in the camp. Just a reminder that you're viewing some of the scenes from the Lawrence Common here on this Saturday, September the 9th, 1978, as we celebrate the 125th anniversary. Activity is picking up here. We invite you to come on down to the Lawrence Common. There's a lot of food for you to eat. It's easy to get to, of course, and you're going to have a lot of fun. We're starting with a band very shortly here, and later on this afternoon you'll be able to see and hear the Platters, the Shaw Brothers tonight, the Gong Show today, along with many other booths. And, of course, all the service clubs are here. So why don't you come on down and view it for yourself and be a part of history, really, because these tapes that we're making right now will be handed over to the City Fathers, and they'll keep them for years. And a few years from now, they'll be able to view back and say, hey, that's what we did on September the 9th, 1978. A little windy, but it's a great day. Come on down. Help us say happy birthday to Lawrence, Massachusetts. Hi, this is Bruce Arnold along with Dave Scott here at Lawrence Common. We're celebrating the 125th anniversary of the city of Lawrence. We want you to come on down and see what's happening. And we thought we'd just pan the cameras around and let you get an idea of some of the people who are here. It's a little windy right now, but the wind will die down, and as you can see the stage, we're going to have a band play, a little concert here for a couple of hours. So if you're, this is an all-day affair, we'll be here like until midnight tonight. And if you want to hear some great entertainment and just have a good time, the whole family, come on down to the Lawrence Common. We'll be joining Dave Scott on stage in a few moments.
Once again, good morning. I'm Dave Scott. We're located on the Lawrence Campagnon Memorial Common for the 125th birthday celebration, the second day of a three-day weekend. And we're going to start things out this morning by calling on the Peter Turnbull Orchestra from Methuen, part of the Lawrence Musicians Union that bring us some activity and entertainment. If you're located throughout the Common now and like to come over to the main stage area, please feel free to do so. Throughout the day, we will not only be covering live on CTV3 here the activities and broadcast to make it a permanent record for the city to keep in the archives, but have entertainment that I think you're going to enjoy and have fun and be able to take part in. A reminder that later on this afternoon from 2 until 4, Herb Reed and the Platters, and from 8 until 11 tonight, the Shaw Brothers. Would you, that are here with me now, though, welcome Peter and all his guys. Let's welcome them to Lawrence.
Thank you very much. Can you start the music? Woody Herman's Woodchopper's Fall. Jerry Mando. Thank you very much. That was, of course, Woodchopper's Ball. We featured on the alto saxophone, Dandy Ippolito, tenor sax, Jerry Mambro, trombone, Michael Drucksmann, and the trumpet solo, Sonny Polisi. I'm going to play a Latin-flavored piece for you now, and it's called Desafinado. Thank you very much. The next music is some from the Lennon-McCartney book and features one of our flugelhorn players, Danny Nolan, and the alto saxophone of Dandy Ippolito. There are two songs. One is called Yesterday, and the other one, Michelle.
You're watching Lawrence's 125th birthday celebration on Continental Cablevision, CTV3, Lawrence and Methuen. Today's activities being brought to you in part by the McCarthy Companies, Arlington Trust Company, McCartney's Men's Store, and Nasser Ford. We'll be back in just a moment.